Happy Saturday, October 19th. This is my first time talking to the camera today, and it's about noon. My knitting group will be here shortly. I've had customers all morning, so it's been very busy. I've also been packaging up some orders. I finished my pumpkin sweater yesterday. I hoped to have time to block that sleeve today, but I haven't even been able to get it out of my car, so I don't know. Hopefully I'll have a chance to show you. I need to weave in the ends, but I want to try it on because I haven't done so yet, and I'm excited. I am about to cast on a new project, I think, because you may have seen over the past couple of days I've been working on sort of organizing my personal yarn stash, and I have 3 sweater quantities of Brooklyn tweed shelter, which to me feels very silly. So I want to go ahead and use up, I've been trying to use up my purple color, it's like Blanket Fort, but I cast it on and I didn't like the project, so I ripped it out. So I've been trying to kind of use it up. I also have like a forest green and a honey gold. Okay. Okay. So I'm about to wind up some skeins to start knitting the honey color, I think. I'm going to make a Felix pullover. I had more grand plans for that project than that, but I know that's a quick project, so I'm just gonna do that one. So that's what I'm gonna work on today. Hopefully I'll get that cast on with the knitting group here, and yeah, I should have that done in a couple days if I can go ahead and get started. What I didn't get to say before was the reason why I want to go ahead and work with these is I don't want to put them back into stash. They take up a lot of space in stash. These are really nice yarn and they deserve to be turned into something. So I'm going to cast on this gold and make a Felix pullover, possibly the Felix cardigan, but probably the pullover because I don't really like cardigans that have a round neck. That's the only thing that stops me from doing the cardigan. I've knit the pullover twice, but I want to go ahead and I think do it again. And then I have this color, and I want to make a Deliciosa, which is a beautiful pullover that kind of has a Monstera motif texture on it. So that would be perfect. And then I have this Brooklyn tweed shelter in the Blanket Fort colorway, which is a beautiful purple. So that's my plan with these. Welcome to 5 o'clock, Ashley, at the shop. Today has been a wild day. So I had my daughter here with me all day, which already means that, so on a Saturday, that's my busy day. That's when my knitting group comes. That's when I get the most business all week. And I definitely had a ton of customers today and so much fun. But my daughter, you know, she did the best she could. Eventually I got to the point where she just hadn't had a nap. So I actually kind of thought I wasn't going to record anything today. I thought this would probably finally be the first day that I don't record. But here I am because my husband sweetly came and picked her up at about 3 o'clock because I kind of had a little boom of business and I needed the capacity to be able to do all the things. So I just had my last 2 customers for the day leave. I want to give an extremely big thank you to Maddie and Lacey who came and saw me today. Thank you guys so very much. It was amazing. They were supposed to go to SAF, like me, of course, and they were going to come and shop with me at SAF. Obviously, SAF didn't happen, so they came out to see me today, which is just a huge thank you, ladies. You guys are wonderful, and I'm excited to make our stripe pipe sweaters together. So, okay, they just left. This is all the knitting I've done today. So I'll just do a quick little, my head is like spinning because it's just been wild. Okay, first of all, I'm wearing the pumpkin sweater. This sleeve is not blocked. I finished this one, and the ends aren't woven in on the sleeves yet. I think they are in the body. Yeah, because I was not sure if I was going to leave them. I am. But this sleeve is not blocked, so take that for, you know, it's doing a little lumpy thing. This one looks pretty good. This orange yarn is held double, so it's kind of a little bit thicker. So when I reblock the sweater, I'm going to block this part out just a little bit so that it's not quite so bumpy. But overall, I think it looks really good. This is my first time actually putting it on since I finished it. And there we go. I think it looks pretty cute. I'm excited to just block it one more time just to kind of work it out. I am still tempted to crop it. I think if it was cropped like this with these big poofy sleeves, it would be even cuter. So I don't know, because I can tuck it into like pants, but I don't know. I'm really conflicted. I do think I would like it more if it was cropped, but then I could really only wear it with certain things. So I'm like trying to play around with it to get an idea before I call it done. That's the pumpkin sweater. I think it's super cute. This is stunning. I am so happy with this. And this is by Meghan Regan. So if you haven't been following along with Vlogtober, or if you haven't clicked on the links, the pattern is Meghan Regan. It's linked down below in the video, and it's DK weight. I made mine out of non-superwash wool. This is mostly my hand-dyed yarn, except for this orange came from my stash. I did just recently offer some sweater kits where I dyed a yarn in my non-superwash base to match. And so yeah, I wish that I had used the non-superwash yarn for my version, because then I wouldn't have had to hold this one double. But overall, I'm really happy with it. And yeah, it's so cute, and it is cozy. Even if I'm not sure about the size yet, it is super cozy and extremely warm and so pretty. So that's the pumpkin sweater status update. Other than that, I haven't done hardly any knitting. My daughter was here during knitting group today, so you know, I was mostly focused my attention on her, and then of course the guests. But I did cast on a sweater. I think I recorded a short clip earlier where I talked about my sweater quantities of Brooklyn tweed shelter. So I am reorganizing my personal yarn stash right now, and I'm definitely trying to like stash down, because I want to use more of my hand-dyed yarns as I dye them and as they kind of call to me. So trying to work through my stash, but mostly my big sweater quantity stash. I have 3 sweater quantities of Brooklyn tweed shelter. I have this gorgeous colorway, and I bought this one and that green color from their seconds sale. So I did get them like maybe half off, so I didn't invest a whole lot. I mean, I still invested, but not as much as like a normal priced Brooklyn tweed shelter. If you know, you know. So that was great. And so now I'm just like, why is it just sitting there? I had all of these. The thing was, I love this yarn so much, I couldn't decide what to make with it. I wanted to make something really special, so it just kept sitting. And finally I decided I'm just going to cast it on. There's no point in waiting. It's a gorgeous color, and if I really want to, I can get more things in this color to make special sweaters. And it's like I have just enough for a nice sweater, but not necessarily something like an oversized cardigan or a bunch of cables. So I'm knitting something simple. It's the Felix pullover, which I have made twice before out of Istex Let Lopi. And the gray one that I made was one of the first sweaters I ever made, and I wore it all the time. And I still do, kind of, but I don't wear it that often. But I think I will wear this a lot. It's going to be a fantastic layering piece, and it ends up knitting up very quickly. The last 2 that I knit, the brown one, which is the last one I knit, I think I knit it in 2 or 3 days. So at this point, I'm just kind of working on speed. I just want to get things out of my stash and not have to put them back in the yarn cabinet. So I was pretty busy and distracted, but I've finished like the neck ribbing, and right now I'm working on the short rows. So I'm adding in those eyelets, the signature little eyelets that go along the raglan shaping. Very pretty. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then after that part's done, it's just gonna fly off the needles. It's such a joy to knit with because it's so nice and pretty and squishy and just lofty and lovely and all of the wonderful woolly things. And the color, I love the color. It's so pretty. I can't remember what this color is called, but it's one of their solids, and it's a beautiful honey, like a golden honey color. So that is an exciting new project. So there's that. I'm going to take this big bag of yarn home with me and just wind it by hand as I go this weekend. My mom and my sister are coming to visit us tomorrow, so that's really exciting. I will be going to pick up my sister from her school in the morning, and my mom will be driving up, and then we're all going to go have a day together in Birmingham. So I'm assuming that's going to mean like coffee shops, hopefully some vintage stores. It's Sunday, so we'll have to see what all is open, but I'm really excited. I don't think I've had just a day out of like shopping and delicious coffee and stuff, and especially not with two of my most dear loved ones on the whole planet. I don't think I've done anything like that in a long time. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I want to get through the yoke of my Felix tonight so that way I can just knit on the body when we're out. I think that'll be really nice. What else? Oh, when I get home, my Stardew Valley cross stitch book should be there. So I have that to look forward to. Maybe I'll get a chance to show you guys. If not, I will show it in the next couple of days. I know a couple of you were excited about it, so I will be sure to show that. And then I also did get in some cross stitch stuff yesterday. So I made a joke the other day that my paycheck to myself this month was the Stardew Valley cross stitch book, and that's kind of true. When I make money at the shop, you know, owning a small business, I have to turn around and usually just invest that profit back into the business to help it grow, to make sure I've got inventory, you know, all the things. Obviously there's bills, all of that. But the great thing is that I pretty much operate out of pocket, so I don't take out loans. If I use like my business credit card, I pay it off. So usually I don't give myself an actual paycheck, but what I do is I buy craft supplies. And thankfully we've had the kind of month where I could buy myself a few little craft supplies. So I'm going to grab the stuff that I got in the mail yesterday and show it to you. So this is my new cross stitch box. I picked this up the other day when I was out and about. I think I got this box for $5. And so I had this little cute mushroom box that I was storing my cross stitch stuff in, but of course the stash grew a little bit. I don't have this much stash, but you know, I wanted it to be comfortable, right? So yeah, it's this really pretty box with butterflies and fairies, and it's kind of metallic and just lovely. So I have a couple of treasures in here. Oh, my socks. I was hoping to wear these. I haven't worn them since I finished them. I am wearing hand knit socks today, but they are green, and my whole outfit today was green. I just put on the pumpkin sweater. These are fun because these are actually made out of non-superwash yarn and linen, and amazingly they have held up the best out of all the socks I've ever knit, so that's pretty cool. It's Kremka Lazy Linen, which I carry here in my shop, but I only have a few skeins left, I think, and unfortunately I don't think I'll be able to get more in the future, so part of me is tempted to save that yarn for more socks for myself, but I digress. So I do have a few other cross stitch things coming that are going to accompany some of the things in here. Like, for example, I got this gorgeous fabric. I don't want to take it out of the bag, so hopefully you can see it okay. But this is a 30 count grasshopper linen by Weeks Dye Works. And it's really, really beautiful. It's like chartreuse and just gorgeous. But I did pick this up for a particular pattern. I ordered these Treeway silks. I've never stitched with silks, so I'm very excited. And it's from it's like a tea time collection that they put out where they made these 4 silk colorways that are super gorgeous. And then they had a bunch of designers create little patterns that you could make with the silks. Well, what sold me was I found a pattern and it was made on this linen. And it's so cute. And when it comes in, I'll show you guys. Maybe if I have time, I'll put in a picture. But it's like a little teapot, and it's like a teapot cottage, and there's mice that live in it, and it is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I ordered the linen to go with that. I had to buy it from 123 Stitch. And then I got the pattern, the silks, and the little teapot needle minder from Top Knot Stitcher. So I'm probably going to start this right away when it comes in. That's exciting. I'm excited to see what the silks are like and to stitch with them. Okay, so there's that. Okay, I got 2 other linens. One of these does have they both have projects. They both have projects. Only one of them am I about to start. So this one is simple. This is like a very light blue. This is 32 count. Who is this from? I actually can't remember who makes this one, but the colorway is called Plain Air, and it's a 32 count, 1/8 of a yard, Belfast linen. It's very pretty. It's not modeled. It's very subtle and simple. And I'm going to do the Stitch Sprout Monarch butterfly pattern on here. It was a Patreon pattern, and so I signed up for the Patreon again so that I could get the pattern. She makes the most beautiful stuff. So yeah, this is going to be some Monarch butterflies. That is going to be amazing. And then this is the project that I think I originally saw it on a floss tube. It was one of the new releases for this fall, and it had been on my mind so much. I was really hoping to come across like the perfect fall pattern, and I found a bunch that I want to make, but obviously my time is limited, so I had to really be selective. But this one, I kept thinking about it, and so I finally decided, because I needed to order a few flosses from 123 Stitch to finish my coffee and eggs pattern that I'm working on, because I ran out of the floss. It's a fancy floss, so I didn't want to just order the one floss, right? So I ordered the materials to make this pattern. This one is called Merry Autumn Pin Keep. I'm going to stitch mine and frame it, so I'm not going to make this little pillow, but it is absolutely adorable. It is this gorgeous little woman with an apron, and she is outside feeding her flock of chickens. There's white pumpkins, there's a beautiful floral border, there's an orange harvest moon, and an adorable little cottage. I just think that this is so cute. So I got this gorgeous cut of fabric to stitch that on. This one is Picture This Plus 36 count bramble linen. And this is one of the most beautiful neutrals I've ever seen. I have my pink neon light on in here, so it's probably casting a little bit of an extra pink tint to this, but I would say this is like a taupe with a pink, and it leans pink. It's just so pretty. Maybe not next to my sweater, because my sweater is like pink, but to me it's just gorgeously subtly pink, and there's a little bit of modeling, and I'm just very excited to make this one. So I got all the flosses. This is basically turning into a sit-down podcast. So I didn't get to vlog much today, but you are getting something from me. We can just be excited over craft materials. If you don't cross-stitch, hopefully this is interesting to you. I just have fallen so madly in love with it. But here is the palette for the Merry Autumn Pin Keep. It's all Weeks Dye Works, which I did use Weeks Dye Works when I made my botanical study #1, and there was one floss that I thought I was making a mistake. It was Grasshopper, because every time I would stitch with it, it would just break. I thought I was doing something wrong. I did find out that Grasshopper by Weeks Dye Works is kind of notorious for doing that, so I felt better it wasn't me. I felt better that it wasn't just me, but I do hope that none of these have that issue. None of the other ones that I stitched that project with had that issue. It's just that one, but hopefully these ones go okay. I also just picked up some extra flosses in some colors that I really love. A couple of these are for my coffee and eggs. I went ahead and purchased what I ran out of, and then I just purchased a few colors that I thought were pretty so that I could have them in stash, because I thought they were nice, and again, I'm already ordering from them. But looking at my Weeks Dye Works, I just realized that I am missing a couple, and now I'm not sure if I didn't put them on my order or if they forgot them. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at my order and see if I somehow missed them on my order. That's gonna be really annoying, because that means I'll have to order again. They do have a flat rate shipping fee, so it's not like the end of the world, but I'm kind of hoping that they forgot it and not me, so that they'll just send it to me, but there is a good chance that I just made a mistake. Gotta figure out what I'm missing here. But anyway, I'm super excited. I'll figure that out later. I would love to start stitching this right away. I kind of hoped that I would have time today, but it was just not one of those days. And that's okay, because it was a really great business day, and I got to see a lot of people, and so it was awesome. And now the shop is a mess, and I don't feel like cleaning it. I'm gonna have to, but yeah. So that's my little cross stitch box. That's what projects I'm working on. that's what I'll be up to tomorrow and what I got up to today. Hopefully I can block this sleeve out pretty soon. It's the weather, the temperature's going back up into the 80s this coming week, so I'm not in a huge hurry now. I just want to have it done for Fiber Festival in November in case it's cool enough to wear it then. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this little portion of the video. Again, I'm not sure how much more I will speak to the camera tonight, and then tomorrow I'll be out with my family, so I probably won't do a whole lot of talking, but hopefully I'll, you know, record kind of what we get up to. But I just want to say thank you guys so much, because it's really fun having this sort of platform and community to just kind of check in with every day and just say hello, and it means a lot to me that you guys enjoy tuning in with me, and I will miss this when it's over. I still have quite a few days left, so you know, it's not going to be tomorrow or anything, but I know that we're quickly approaching the end of Vlogtober. So anyway, just huge thank you for sticking this out with me, and the things that you guys have said, like in person or online about it, it's just been really sweet. Thank you for thank you, Maddie, for calling it wholesome, and some of you have even told me that it's helped you to get into kind of like a cozy autumn mood, so I am super glad that I could be part of your autumn this year. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up and head home and reunite with my daughter and get to spend some time with my husband, and yeah. For knitting group today, at the end of group, I pulled out my nice big chunky easy crochet blanket because the kids who were here, my daughter and her friend, you know, they needed my attention, so I wanted to not work on casting on my sweater because obviously that takes a little bit more brain power. And so I pulled out my blanket, but I went and pulled it out, and then it was basically time to just wrap everything up. So I think I put in like just a couple of stitches, but this is a nice big chunky, very soft crochet blanket I've been working on pretty much never over the years, but when I do sit down and put time into it, you know, it's so fast because it's like a combination of Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick stuff, and then Big Twist, like just big box store, big thick chunky yarn. And it was like some of the first yarn I had ever bought, and then I had knit my first knitted projects out of it. There's my first ever hat, but oh, that's the wrong side. So this pattern is how I realized that I was reverse mounting all of my stitches. You can see that in the knits here, and the purls on the wrong side make the knits look correct. But yeah, so I'm gonna rip out this yarn and add it to the blanket, and then my first ever scarf. So this is just kind of a big ongoing project where I'm using up all that yarn that I bought in the beginning, and it's going to be a very lovely blanket when it's done. So, and it's so quick, I just need to put the time into it, but I love the color palette. And yeah, there's like these soft pinks within the gray. Obviously there's soft pink, this turmeric yellow. So I have it in this big tub, and it's got this massive hook, and part of me wants to take it home and work on it, but I know I want to work on some other things. I know I need to wrap up and go home because it's actually almost 6 o'clock, and after I finished kind of cleaning up, I just sat down and knit for a little while in the silence. Like, I didn't turn on a podcast, I didn't turn on a book, music, anything. I just sat in silence and reflected and calmed my brain down a little bit. I'm sure you could tell in that clip that I recorded and played right before this that my brain was just all over the place. I was just overwhelmed in a good way, and tired. But anyway, I just sat and knit for a little while, and I have made some good progress. I love this yarn. It's so cozy and comfy, and just, yeah, I think I already said all the things. I just switched to wooden needles, which I love metal needles, but for this yarn, wooden needles works even better. I have my cute little possum wearing a sweater. That's my beginning of round marker. Let's see. Oh, my friend Marquita gave me these really pretty little glass mushrooms, which I thought matched the project. So that's that. I think this is stunning. It's going to be such a lovely layering piece sweater. So comfy, and I love the color. So I'm very excited. Okay, I'm going to wrap up, get my stuff in the car, and go home. The other thing is, as I sat in silence and calmed my brain down a little bit, first of all, I feel much better. I was kind of overwhelmed and frantic before, like I said. But I also just thought, you know, I didn't even mention just a big thank you to all the people who came out today, because I think people came and created sort of a mini SAF. So of course I had the 2 that I mentioned, but then it's just all day. There was all kinds of people here, and so just big thank you. Thank you for turning today into sort of a mini SAF at the shop. It was really wonderful, and I really appreciate you all supporting my little business. It means a whole lot, and as you can see, it just goes into supporting my little family and creating a community space, and that's just all that I care about. So I appreciate you guys helping me to keep going. Okay, I'm gonna go home.